What's up? Welcome. We're talking more liposuction today. Gaining your confidence, getting rid of that hanging belly with no tummy tuck, no general anesthesia, no big scar. If you've looked to get rid of your belly, you looked into your the options. You may have been told that you have to get a tummy tuck, and that's just simply not true. Not today. Not hasn't been like that for a long time. However, the plastic surgeons have been spreading the same old bullshit. I'm sure you've heard it. Said you have to get a tummy tuck. You have to cut the skin away. You have to get a big scar. Well, that's just simply not the truth. You can see by the results here, and we got hundreds of these results. I've been doing liposuction for 17 years, done over 15,000 procedures. Time and time again, we've been getting very consistent results, and I think you're gonna like it. See, liposuction is the physical and permanent removal of the fat cells. And all the studies claim that fat cells don't reproduce. So once you remove them, they're gone and they're gone forever. Now, some of you might say, well, I heard that the fat comes back somewhere else. That's not exactly true. The fat doesn't come back anywhere. See, you can always gain weight. There's no one that's going to stop you from the ability to gain weight. If you are eating too much and you're not eating a healthy lifestyle, you're eating too many sugars, too much carbohydrates, your body's going to store fat. And it's going to store fat wherever you have it. Now, if we did liposuction, for example, and you gained weight, you're just not going to gain weight in the area that we did liposuction. Now, that's not 100% true. You still have some fat cells in there, but you see like this young lady here, we took the fat from the front of the abdomen. Now, if she gains weight, she's still got a big backside. So if she gains weight, she's still going to gain some fat in the butt. She's going to get big thighs. She's probably got big boobs. So she still is going to have a problem. That's why it's imperative that you eat a healthy lifestyle and eat a healthy diet and live a healthy lifestyle after these procedures. That's how you're going to get the best long-term results, no matter what you do. You see, there's no point in spending thousands of dollars on changing your body and getting these procedures if you're not going to commit to living your best life. Now, the whole purpose of doing this is to advance along your path, to achieve your best life and whatever that means to you. And you'll figure that out. But the truth is that if you continue to get better and better and better and better, that's how you continue to advance, but it's also how you change your psychological. See, a lot of people, they come into this procedure and they're down, they're depressed, and they think that if they just get their fat sucked out, all of a sudden they'll magically, think differently and not be depressed. And it's unfortunately not the case. What I've found is that the individuals that have come to me and they've gotten to this point in their life when they're just so sick and tired of all the bullshit. And what I mean by that is all the bullshit of like the hiding, the fear, the anxiety, the wearing big baggy clothes, the yo-yo dieting where you lose weight, you gain weight, lose weight, you gain weight. I mean, we've all been there at some point, right? But at some point you just decide, you know what? This shit ain't for me anymore. And I'm gonna change. And when you decide to change and you commit to it, change is possible. And it's not only that, huge dramatic change is possible. You just have to commit to it. And if you commit to it, you can get whatever you want. And all you have to do is keep pushing. Now, liposuction is one part of this journey of living your best life. It's one part of it. We can get this fat off of you and give you a shape that you may have never been able to achieve otherwise. And when I say that, some people say, well, you should be just diet and exercise. Well, that's not necessarily the truth. Because when you diet and exercise, you become a smaller version of what you already are. So if you're SpongeBob SquarePants, you're going to become a smaller version of SpongeBob SquarePants. Still the same boxy shape. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I know there's people out there that have these boxy shapes, and it's annoying. It's you try to lose weight, you try to exercise, you try to eat right, but you still maintain the same boxy shape or the hanging belly or whatever the case, the thing that bothers you. When you lose weight, it's just a smaller version of what you hated already. So mentally, you're like, this is still bullshit. It still sucks, right? So liposuction can get you past that hump. We can create the shape. So you see like this individual here, she went from this boxy shape, this square shape, into this hourglass figure and this booty popping out. And when you do that, it's like visually you see yourself differently. You don't see yourself as the same boxy individual anymore because you're not. It's impossible to think the same when you look different. Okay? So after you change the results, when you get the results and you change the visual, you change this three-dimensional body that we have here. Once you change that, you have to start seeing yourself differently. And when you start wearing clothes different, you start going out places, and you stop hiding. That's a big part. When you stop hiding, you start thinking yourself differently. When other people are able to see you in a different light, you start thinking yourself differently. Because in most cases, we've developed our own self-worth and self, you know, ideology of what we are based off of what other people say about us. And the truth is we're not really seeing ourselves most of the time. Other people are looking at us. So when other people are looking at us, if they say, hey, you're this or you're that, we tend to believe them. But you don't really have to, okay? Because the truth is the only one that really matters what they think is you. And if you think you're beautiful, then it doesn't matter what other people think. It's just their opinion. And if you're like me, you gotta get to this point where you just don't give a shit what other people think anymore. And if you get to that point, you can start to feel good about yourself. Because when you're looking hot like this, I promise you, there will still be haters out there that will nitpick you and say, but you have this and you have that. And they'll nitpick you and talk down about you. They'll hate on you, right? That's what haters do. Haters are going to hate. And if you believe the nonsense and you believe what other people say, then you'll always be at their mercy. You'll always be at someone else's opinion, is what they think about you. You have to start believing in yourself, right? See, looks like we got a couple questions here. See, I can't wait to get this ball rolling. Hell yeah. See, Brows Beauty Barbie Sylvia says 5'4", 190. Would I have to lose weight? No way. Look, we got some very large people, right? We have people that are like 250, 300 pounds and they're getting liposuction. Look at the results. The results are sick for them too. And if it's amazing for them, just imagine what it's going to be like for you. And this is why I created our private Facebook group. We have a Facebook group called My Shape Lipo Support Group, and you can go join today. Just go search it up. If you click on our profile on the link tree, the link is there for the private Facebook group. And you can actually communicate with our patients. A lot of these pictures that you'll see behind us are the actual patients sharing their pictures. And then you can actually go message them, communicate with them. Hell, with Facebook and Messenger nowadays, you can actually call them, I think. I'm not suggesting that because, there's a lot of people out there, but and these are private individuals. But you still have the ability to go communicate with our previous patients. And, I know, a lot of people get stuck on these fake review sites now, Yelp and Google. And the truth is review sites are tainted. In most cases, they're false. And even when you have the positive reviews, they're fabricated. They're made to seem better than what they are. They're made to be positive for a purpose, it almost seems like. And similarly, negative reviews, they're made to seem more negative on purpose. Almost like there's a reason, like someone else wrote them maybe a competitor, maybe someone that had a chip on their shoulder, whatever the case. But the truth is like you can't judge anything based on reviews anymore. And I know from a personal experience, I still look at reviews and I'm like, but then when you read this stuff, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. That is probably bullshit. So you got to be realistic, right? When you go to our private Facebook group, you can actually communicate with the people. So you see the review that they write, or the post. It's a post, but it's a review. They write a post about their experience and their healing, their journey. They're talking about, they're showing pictures like this, and then all you have to do is hey Stephanie, hey Blanquita, hey Audra, and you can ask them a question. hey, how did your skin turn out? Right? And a lot of these individuals, it changes over time. It's not just a, one hit, you get this procedure and everything's great. You see the results of before and after, but it didn't just happen like that. There was a time period in between, and things change and they shift and things get different. So it's important that you, as a potential customer, a potential liposuction patient, if you want to get this procedure, it's important that you understand the process and that you understand what's going to happen from the first day to 1 year out, 2 years out, 3 years out. What's going to happen? You maybe have questions like, well, is the fat going to come back? Is you going to have loose skin? All these things they're individual, but when you talk to patients, previous patients, you can see that they have the answers for you. This one right here, this is a progressive photo. So you see 4 pictures: the before, the after, and then a few months later, and then it says today, but this is probably about 3 months afterwards. And the 3 months afterwards, you can see that belly fold went away completely. However, right afterwards, she almost looks just as big as she did before, which this is the crazy thing. And so, as an onlooker from who hasn't done this stuff before, you may like, whoa, geez, you didn't take anything out of her, but that's not true. That's not true. We took a ton of fat out of her. After these procedures, you swell up. Sometimes you swell up bigger than you were before. It's not always that way, but sometimes that's the case. So as a patient, a future patient of liposuction, you want to know these things, because it'll freak you out. If you got bigger after the procedure, you're like, oh my God, I got fat. That's not true. When you talk to patients that have had the procedure, they can give you that confidence and that I guess that kind of warm and fuzzy feeling that it's gonna be okay, right? It's gonna be okay. Okay. Let's see. Browse Beauty says, I've been told so many places that you have to lose weight and need an extended tummy tuck. Well, here's the thing: is you gotta pay attention to who you're asking for their opinion. And then also realize that when you're asking, it's just an opinion. And so when you ask for my opinion is based on thousands of procedures and no tummy tucks. We don't do any tummy tucks. And so because of that, I know what I'm capable of achieving. I know what I'm capable of doing. And because of that, my opinion is going to be different. Okay? I don't offer tummy tucks, so I'd never say that you need a tummy tuck. I've gotten all these results without a tummy tuck, and I think they're pretty awesome. Now, that's my opinion. You may have a different opinion. You may be like, no, I want that huge cut, and I want to be put to sleep, and I want to have a recovery I'm going to be laid up for weeks, and it's going to be difficult to stand up. I want that stuff. Who wants that stuff, right? That's crazy. Nobody wants that. But some people believe the bullshit. When the plastic surgeon tells you, you have to do a tummy tuck, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll get a tummy tuck. But if you don't want it, if you don't realize there's no other option, then you're going to succumb and you're going to fall into the trap, because it's a trap that's set for you. All those people that walk through the doors of the plastic surgeons, there's a trap set for you. And if you fall into it because you don't have the knowledge that there's another option, then you may succumb to the consequences of a tummy tuck. And unfortunately, there's many consequences of a tummy tuck that I don't particularly like. I don't like the big scar. In most cases, they don't do enough liposuction. So after you get a tummy tuck, in most cases, you need liposuction again. And they'll do some liposuction, just not very much. But when we do liposuction first, we get all the fat out of there, the skin retracts back, and we can get the curves that you're looking for. You see how the belly was hanging here? She had loose skin. You can see it's folded right here, right? Many of you, had the same issue. And this is just a function of gravity and physics. As the belly gets fuller and it starts to protrude outwards, gravity pulls down and causes that fold. In order to get rid of the fold, it's not as hard as you might think. Okay, because you already know that your skin is elastic. Because if you're able to gain weight and your skin stretches out, then just like a balloon, when you remove that volume, the skin retracts back. Now, how well does the skin retract back? It's different for everybody. But you can see this is like a week after the procedure, and you can see the skin's retract back significantly. The fold is gone, right? You can still see she's bruised here, down at the bottom. That's normal, right? But the what this is demonstrating is that how well the skin tightens up so quickly. Because many of you have been told by the plastic surgeons that you're going to have an empty sac of skin. And so you don't want an empty sac of skin, so we got to cut it away, is what they tell you, but it's just not true. It's just not true. When we get the fat out appropriately, when I say appropriately, what I mean is that the layer of fat below the skin has to be exact. Is this much, this much, this much. Okay, this is how I know. And this is how I know. And this is the crazy thing is my hands are my eyes. With liposuction, you can't see under the skin, so all of this is done by touch, all of it. And that's why some of you might see me when I do my live procedures. I'm looking all over the place. I'm able to talk. I'm able to look all over the place. I can have conversations. I'm looking at the patient's eyes. I'm looking everywhere except for where I'm working. And you're like, oh my God, that's crazy. It's really not. It's really not. First of all, I've done it thousands of times. It's muscle memory. I've done the same thing over and over and over. The other thing is that I use my hands as if they're my eyes. I can see through my hands. And what I mean by that is I can feel everything, and I use my imagination. I can imagine how thick it is. I can imagine where the fat is. I can imagine what I'm doing. And it's literally like I can see in my mind through my hands. And that's why I don't really need my eyes to do this procedure. In some ways I use my eyes. I'm not going to say I don't use them ever, but in some ways I do. But for the most part, I really don't need my eyes. This is all done by touch, and it's all muscle memory done over time. Okay. Mary Med. All right, see you answering some questions. Okay, I don't want a tummy tuck. That's how everyone's trying to avoid tummy tuck. I don't know how many, it's like the funny thing is I think that women, it's like, it's in the programming when we were children, we were brought up because, many of you may have had like aunts or moms or someone that got a tummy tuck, and it's just mentally, you were believed that, I'm gonna go have kids, and afterwards I get a tummy tuck, and it's part of the mommy makeover bullshit that they've been selling for the past couple decades. And so many of you think that you have to get a tummy tuck, like that's just part of the process, and it's just not. You don't have to do that stuff. Not only that, you don't have to get breast implants anymore. You don't have to. It's an option if you want to, but you don't have to. We can do fat transfer, so we can take the fat from an area where you don't want it and transfer it to an area where you do, like bigger breast, bigger butt. And this is all available to you, and it always has been. But knowledge is power, right? That's what they say, but it's not really power until you put into action. So many of you may not have had this knowledge, but once you get the knowledge that this is possible, now it becomes potential power. And that potential power that you have only becomes the power in your mind and when you put into action, when you start taking action on this ability, when you know that you can get rid of the belly without the tummy tuck, then you have to take action on it. And the other thing that I like to say is that you have some friends and family that have these issues, that have been struggling with insecurities, that have been hiding. And now that you have the knowledge, it's your responsibility to share. I've been trying to change the world by spreading this knowledge, spreading this information to help as many people as I can. And it's really to help you feel better about yourself. Because if we can elevate your confidence, then you have more confidence. There's no telling what you're capable of doing. Your potential is limitless, and I know that. I know that your potential is limitless. And once I am able to show you that we are able to achieve something that you thought was impossible, once you realize that you can do the impossible, then it's like it opens up your mind and to realize that maybe it's possible that you do something else that you thought was impossible. Maybe. And if you do that, maybe you do one other thing. Maybe you thought that you couldn't go back to school to get your degree. Maybe you thought that you could never advance in your career. Maybe you thought that, women could never be president or whatever your limiting belief is. Because most people, they get stuck on these limiting beliefs. They have this belief that they can't do something, they can't achieve something, they can't be something, they can't, you know, achieve whatever it is that they've set their mind to. They think that somehow there's some ceiling that someone like them can't do this. And that's just simply not the truth. The truth is that you can have a banging body if you want. Each of us has different paths to get there. Your path might include plastic surgery. Her path might include liposuction. Someone else's path might include just diet and exercise. Everyone's different. But I'll tell you this. If it's on your path, you'll be attracted to it. And what I mean by that is when you see pictures like this and you're attracted to it, say like, I like that. I think I could do something like that. I think I'd like results like that. You're going to be attracted, you'll naturally be attracted to it. And if you look at a tummy tuck scar and you're like, ew, that's disgusting. Okay, you're repelled by it, right? You see how this stuff works? There's certain things, there's certain people, like I promise, I get comments like this all the time. They're like, oh my God, that's so dangerous. This person should just lose weight. And those are the type of people, they're repelled against this stuff. That's okay. This isn't for everybody. It's for the people that are attracted to it. And if you're attracted to it, this can be part of your life. And you can go from this like pregnant look to this awesome banging body, hourglass figure with their booty popping out. Okay, Zumba says, my girl Heather got it done and she looks amazing. She's the motivation. Heather's awesome. Is that Heather right there? I don't know if it's the same Heather, but that's a Heather. That's a Heather. That's a Heather. Browse says she'll message us. Awesome. So any of you are looking, if you want pricing, simple pricing, we have on our website, myshapelipo.com. You can go there and we have our quick quote. And you can get easy, quick, free, instant pricing on the quick quote. We also have our link tree on Instagram, which I tagged here or pinned the comment. So you can get our link tree on Facebook. It's in the post, and on YouTube, it's in the comments there. You can go get the quick quote. It's easy, it's quick, it's free. Get your pricing. And then when you're serious and you're ready to move forward, the next step is getting your formal consultation. The formal consultation where you're going to send some pictures in and you're going to meet directly with me. I'm going to review your pictures, evaluate the situation, and figure out the best plan to get you these kind of results. There are going to be some limitations, right? So larger individuals, you'll find in our quick quote that we have a separation. So smaller individuals, you're able to get 360 in one procedure. Larger individuals, we break it into two procedures. And here's the reason why. There are limitations on how much of the fat that we can remove in one procedure before it becomes a detriment to the body. And what I mean by that, a detriment to the body, is that people tend to experience like severe dehydration. In medicine, we call it a fluid shift. And so when we take the fat out, your body will try and fill that space with fluid, which essentially takes all the fluid from our normal system, so our blood and our body, and takes all that fluid and fills into the layer that we just removed. And it essentially leaves the individual dehydrated. So what we found, because we've done thousands of these procedures, is that if the patients come into us drinking tons of water before, but like a gallon a day, you drink a gallon a day coming into the procedure, you're very hydrated, and the day of the procedure you're continuing to drink more and more water. The more hydrated you are coming into the procedure, the less likely you're going to have issues after the procedure. And that's the way we can do large volume liposuction without having the complications. Okay, Mary Med says you have to maintain proper compression. Absolutely. Compression is important. After these procedures, you're going to be swollen. It's normal. So compression is going to help to reduce the swelling. Nice. Rios Kitty, we're coming in on November 15th for your smart lipo. Iseko, I need this. Go get your quick quote. It's free, it's easy. Then sign up for your formal consultation. Let's get you going. Looking into getting a consultation soon. Adri, good to hear. Even if you're looking to get the procedure, after the new year, is the time is now to start the process. It's not like just like you call up our office and schedule you're in next week. It doesn't work that way. With any procedures, you need to get medically cleared. So we're going to do lab work to ensure that it's safe for you. And we also have to do the formal consultation and make sure that we're both on the same page. Do you give any medication on the day of the surgery if it's feeling a little? So the day of the procedure, everyone gets an antibiotic. That's the first thing. The antibiotic is for prophylaxis. So after this procedure, you're going to have these open wounds, and it's possible that bacteria gets in there. So we don't want to get an infection, so we give you antibiotics, and we take antibiotics for about a week after the procedure. And that'll reduce the potential for infection. We also offer narcotics, so there's pain medication as well as a Xanax. Xanax is meant for anxiety. However, I'm not a huge fan of either one of those. There's lots of side effects that come with both of those: lightheadedness, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, and they're not really going to help a whole lot with pain. It just makes you drowsy, lightheaded, and dizzy. However, it's available if you want it. Everybody's different. My personal feeling on this is I like to take less medications. But there's people that don't feel that way, and it's just my opinion. So if you want to take the narcotics and you want to be sedated, that's available. But don't be under the illusion that those type of things really help with pain. They don't. The thing that helps with the pain is the local anesthesia. We numb the area. We block the pain. And when you take oral antibiotics, it affects your entire body. And it's your systemic, so there's side effects systemically, as opposed to when we do the local anesthesia, we numb only the local area. Selena says, I'm moving to Nevada soon and plan on going to you to get my lipo. Good to hear. Nevada's pretty cool. Okay, Rios Kitties is on the ketosis. Okay, ketosis. You want to talk about ketosis? I love ketosis. Okay. So first of all, we do have a ketone supplement that gets you into ketosis. Now, ketosis, what is ketosis? Ketosis is a state of being when your body starts to burn fat cells, and it uses the fat as energy, as opposed to in our Western diet, when we're eating carbohydrates and sugar, our bodies will burn the sugar and carbohydrates first for energy. Now, if we don't use all of the carbohydrates and sugar, which you almost never do, our bodies will then take that energy and restore it as fat. And this is by design what our bodies do. Now, ketosis refers to the restriction of carbohydrates and sugars. And when you do that, after your body burns through all the sugar and carbohydrates, it's like a flip. The switch gets flipped. It's almost like a completely different operating system. Our bodies will start to utilize the fat to burn as fuel instead of the sugar and the carbohydrates. It's really cool if you look into this. And what the studies have found is that our entire body, from head to toe, from our brain to everything, functions better in the state of ketosis. Those of you who have done fasting, you eventually get into ketosis by state of eliminating food, and that means sugar and carbohydrates. So when you don't eat sugar and carbohydrates for anywhere over, I think 24 to 48 hours, you'll start to get into ketosis. And as you get into ketosis, you'll start to experience the benefits of ketosis. And what that means is when you start to burn fat, you actually get a rise in energy. So in ketosis, you have an increased energy, and it's a more stable energy because the burning of fat is a more stable fuel, as opposed to sugar and carbohydrates. You get a spike and a trough. And that's why most people, it's like, you'll eat your carbohydrate breakfast, you get a spike, and then it comes back down, and like mid-afternoon, you need more coffee. And that might be okay, but it's not healthy, right? It might get you by, but it's not the best way to do it. If you want to start living your best life, you got to start doing the things that are going to allow you to step to the next level. And being in ketosis is literally, it takes your whole body and mind to a whole nother level. It They found that your brain functions better on ketones as opposed to the carbohydrates and sugar. So you'll find that in ketosis, any brain fog is lifted and you're able to think more clearly. So ketosis is awesome. Now you can get there through diet. So that's the keto diet. And there's also, you may have heard the term ketogenic diets. And so there's a lot of different names to diets that get you into ketosis. The premise of all of them is reduction in sugar and carbohydrates. Now there's different, rules with different people. So it kind of just depends. But the point is getting into ketosis. You might be able to do it with diet. That's cool if you can. If you can't and you're struggling with that, the ketone supplement is a phenomenal way to do it. It gets you in there quickly. It takes about 60 minutes to get you into ketosis after drinking the supplement. 60 minutes to get into ketosis, and it'll keep you there for about 4 to 6 hours. Now, if you eat a keto diet, it gets you there into a higher level of ketosis, and you'll stay in ketosis for longer. Now, if you don't eat a keto diet, it'll still get you into ketosis, but it'll be a low level ketosis, and the results will be not as good. However, it'll be better than not being in ketosis at all. So if you want the best results, eat a keto diet, low in sugar, low in carbohydrates. I also recommend doing intermittent fasting, so fast. So you don't want to eat in the first half of the day, and I would say maybe until 2 to 3 perhaps. And then you want to eat, your eating window should be between like 2 and 8. And then after 8, you stop eating and you fast from 8 all the way back to 2 the next day. And when you do that, there's a lot of benefits. First of all, it'll get you into ketosis. Second, and the thing that you'll find is going to be very beneficial to you is that your bowels, they get some rest. And when all of your organs get rest, they will function better when you're using them, right? So the whole fasting, you fast for a period of time and it allows everything to function better. And one of the most important things that I can talk about with this is that you have to drink a lot of water. Water is imperative. I know I've been talking about water seems like for a long time, and it's so important, but it's really, really important when you're detoxing and when you get into ketosis and your body starts to burn fat as fuel. A lot of the toxins are held in the fat. So as you start to burn the fat, the toxins will be spilled out. When they're spilled out, you need to use a lot of water to cleanse everything out. So drink plenty of water. All right, I'm going to end this in just a few minutes here, but I highly suggest that if you're ready to move forward, go get your quick quote. That's easy. It's quick. It's free. You can find it on our website. And then when you're serious and you're ready to move forward, the next step is getting your formal consultation. And the ketone supplement is for everybody before, during, and after. I take the ketone supplement, and I'm not taking it to lose weight. It's one of the benefits and if you have to lose weight, you will lose weight. It's gonna reset your body and mind. And that's why I like it. As an athlete, it helps me to recover faster. Mentally, it helps me have mental clarity. I'm a business owner, an entrepreneur, and I got to be thinking clearly. Those of you, your mothers, right? You got to be thinking clearly, helping your kids out. Once you get into ketosis, it's going to change the way that you're thinking about your life, and it'll allow you to step up to the next level and function on a different operating system as your body's going to start to burn fat for fuel as opposed to sugar and carbohydrates. Now, some of you will be like, oh, I love the carbohydrates. That's great. You've done that for however many decades, right? Sugar does not do well in your system. Our bodies do not like sugar. And what happens is when you consume sugar and you consume carbohydrates, and when you have sugar circulating in your blood, it causes inflammation everywhere. Lots of problems. So our pancreas will secrete insulin. And the insulin is to get all the sugar out of the blood supply and into the cells. And when it does that, it gets it into the cells, so then our body uses it as energy. And then whatever is not used as energy gets stored as fat. So those of you who are like, I ate this donut and it goes straight to my ass. You are like way more accurate than you may know. way more accurate because all that sugar is going to convert directly into your fat, and it happens pretty quickly. Okay, so just as quickly as it happens that way, it can happen the opposite. When your body starts to burn fat, when you get into ketosis, you can start to spill out. And that's why people lose 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds very, very quickly on the keto diet. Not only that, mentally, you're going to, like, everything starts to become a lot more clear to you. And it's hard for you to understand because I'm using words. You won't understand until you've actually been in ketosis and you've lived the keto lifestyle for an extended period of time. Then you'll start to see all the benefits, and it's like a trickle-down effect. It doesn't happen all at once, but next thing you know, your blood pressure's under control, mental clarity is under control, you're starting to lose weight, your diabetes is starting to disappear, all your health problems just start to disappear. I mean, I don't even know how to say this, and it's like in medicine, they, we're not taught in school how to cure people, right? They don't teach us how to do that in school. They teach you how to treat people. You're sick, you take this drug. You're sick, we do this surgery, right? Because those are what? They're billable, right? I can't bill you for telling you about a diet, but because I care, because I want you to live your best life, that's why I talk about this stuff. And I know that even if you lose weight, you may still be the same shape. And that's why liposuction is awesome, because it doesn't matter whether you're 100 pounds or you're 500 pounds. People like liposuction because they want to change the shape of their body. And when you're ready, the next step is formal consultation. So thank you so much for stopping in today. I appreciate you. And go get your quick quote. It's free, it's easy. You can get it right now. And make sure you follow us on TikTok. It's a great channel. We got banned on there, so we have a new channel. So make sure if you followed us before, make sure you re-follow us. You got to go find us. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.